Hey, day one of sheltering in place. I hope it is going well for everyone, and we need to take this social distancing very seriously because it's not just the old people who will be impacted, it is all of us, and we are all here to take care of each other. So, and number two, aren't you glad that we don't have to transition to online learning because you're already doing it? Good job. Last week's skeletal system triage charting, or the triage charting, went off for some people very, very well and very easily, had very few questions, and they completed the assignment successfully. Other people struggled a little bit with how to, well, first of all, with partners that are not responsive. And so I can't tell you again, online learning is not just about um, learning in a vacuum. It is online learning that is done with peers. So it's virtual learning, and in the virtual environment, you have to work with other people, whether it's virtually or in person. As a healthcare provider, you're going to have to learn to work with other people, and part of that is cooperating, and the other part of that is being on time with tasks. Both of those things are super important in the healthcare industry. So I'm looking at the skeletal system charting and peer review. The situation is this. Most of you got the idea that this is the scenario, and now I want you to translate this using some of the words that you used or that you learned in this chapter in order to relate that to another healthcare worker. So in essence, you're giving a report. Oftentimes, if you don't give report accurately, the treatment is not going to be accurate, or it will be delayed. Other times, people will not give you credibility if you can't speak in the language to which they are accustomed to hearing the information. So it lends a sense of credibility when you can speak the language of medical terminology. So most of you got it. The ED tech in a very busy hospital. He's holding his arm. He fell off his bike. He is diaphoretic. His face is erythematous. He states he is in a lot of pain. He is states he is unable to move his arm, so unable to, you could say unable to abduct or adduct his arm, or flex or extend his arm, however you want to say it. Or you can even say it's paralysis because he can't move his arm. He is also saying he has some numbness and tingling, which is paresthesias. On the forearm nearest his body, nearest to the body, is swollen, so it's edematous, red, erythematous, and bruised is ecchymotic. And his ribs, which are his, you can describe that as the costochondral margins, are sore, but otherwise he's fine. He is tachycardic, which you won't learn until we talk about cardiac, but still, you know, you've heard tachycardia before, or tachy means rapid. Breathing rate is also rapid at 40, so you could say he was tachypnic. So for those of you who know medical terminology a little bit before you ever got to this class, you could throw that in for good measure. So working in pairs is the biggest hurdle for us all to overcome. So please, at the beginning of the week, reach out to your partner so that you can coordinate. I know everyone's busy. Most of you have jobs, if not one, more than one job, on top of taking classes. And I understand life gets in the way of a lot of things. But this is important. This is part of your move to a different career pathway, and it is an extremely important part of that pathway. So you need to prioritize this as well. You also need to respect the people that you're working with, because they are also in a similar situation and they are making the effort to reach out. So please, please, please cooperate with each other. Many people, I'd say about half of you, did not do the self-assessment checklist, which you can click it here. It'll take you directly to the self-assessment checklist, which is right here, which is also in the modules. Let me see if I can bring it over here. No, it's, well, if you just click on it, it's in the modules. My gosh, this is like the easiest 5 points you could ever get. It's yes, yes, no, no, no. You can just cut and paste and answer it and put it directly into your triage charting at the very bottom. Description and rubric, you can either click here and look at the rubric, or you can look right below. This is how I'm going to grade you, so make sure you put in all those things. Your charting is due by 11:59 on Wednesday, and then once your partner posts, then you can read it, revise it, say how great it is, say what mistakes that you thought that they made or how they could make it better. You make 2 meaningful comments, 2 sentences, that's all I'm asking, for 5 points each. That's 10 extra points. So not asking a whole lot. I think the biggest hurdle was for people trying to figure out how to post. So part of that is coordinating with each other and figuring out how to post, how you guys are going to post your assignments. Here I want to show you, and I hope Miss Abbott and Miss Goodwin don't take offense, but I wanted to share how I envisioned this working. They did coordinate with each other, which is fabulous. They very clearly, and some of you very clearly did not identify whose work was what. So it was very difficult for me to figure out who to give credit to. So please put your name at the top. That's kind of grade school. Name at the top. Thanks. So Kima did her charting at the beginning. She highlighted the words that she used, and then at the end she did her self-assessment checklist. Good job. And then Haley's comments are down here. So, and then Haley also very smartly highlighted what she was talking about. So great. And then if you look at Haley, who's at the very beginning, same thing. And then you look at what Haley submitted. Oops. This is what Haley submitted. So they submitted 2 different things, right? One was Shakima and one was Haley. They both identified who they were. They both did the self-assessment checklist, and they both posted on each other's forms. So that takes some coordination, which is what is part of this assignment. The other people who did a great job as well in terms of posting was Mariah and Chris. So Mariah did her charting, which was great, and I made some comments on there. And then at the bottom you will see that Chris, under assignment comments, posted his response to her, and under that Chris posted the response to Mariah's. And we'll look at Mariah. We'll look at Chris, sorry, Chris. Get your way over here. I don't want to pass you up. Here we go. And I know it said it was late. It wasn't late. It was great. And so then I'm going to look at the other post, which is Chris's post. He gave the whole shebang, which was the entire SOAP note, which was wonderful, and underlined the things that the terminology that he used, he got from the chapter. The self-assessment checklist is in there, and then references, which is fabulous, not required but fabulous, and then again at the bottom are the comments over here under assignments. So you can do it that way. The other way that Charlene had suggested we do this is to do it in a discussion format. So that way you guys could have your own little discussion groups, and then, oops, sorry, that's my son. you can have your little discussion groups and then discuss back and forth, post a final thing, and then make your peer review comments within the discussion. If that works easier for everybody, that's fine. Otherwise, you could do it the way that Chris and Mariah and Shakima and Haley had done it. So let me know, post a reply on this announcement so that we could figure out what is the easiest way to do it. But I need you to post it pretty soon because I have to fix the rest of the triage charting. So if you're good the way it stands and you'll work around, that's fine. Otherwise, if you are wanting me to change it to discussion format, then let me know by tomorrow at 8 p.m. All right, shelter in place, everybody. Stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch the T-zone, and take care of each other. Good night.